don't play around. They will always protect the general safety of everyone before one unruly passenger. Did anyone like this season
It was
of
a
Summer
dispute
House?
over her carry-on luggage.
Oh, well, they said you have too many pieces, you can't put it in the overhead. I mean, that does happen. Was she boarding group F? Was she boarding group A? Let's talk about this. Did she want 2 carry-ons?
This is her side of the story. Savannah says she went on after boarding the plane. One flight attendant called her out over the intercom. It was the funniest thing, Savannah says. The entire flight had boarded, and the flight attendant comes on and goes, "Hey, Savannah, we've got some hot pilots up here who would like to buy you a drink." The Sassy by Savannah founder said as she placed her face in her palm. The Growing Up Chrisley alum embarrassing situation occurred just 1 week after she was thrown off. Oh, this is another incident. She was thrown off another Southwest Airlines flight for being an unruly passenger. "I officially know why everybody hates Southwest," she said. She was on her Instagram story on April 20th, pointing at ticketing agent in front of her gate. "He told me that I had to check my bag." Savannah reportedly explained that she wanted to try to find space for her luggage in the overhead compartments before deciding to check her bags. His exact words were, "No, that's not happening." He continued, adding that the ticketing agent proceeded to call her an unruly passenger. According to Savannah, the pilot jumped in to tell the agent to calm down, and the Southwest attendant literally looked at the pilot, the man who is flying the plane and responsible for our safety, and said, "Stay out of it." She shared of the alleged incident, adding the attendant told her, "No, you're not, ma'am. You are not flying on this flight." And it looks like Southwest won because she didn't fly on that flight. Savannah went on to explain, "I'm not going to lie. When the attendant told the pilot, calm down, I told the Southwest attendant there was no reason for him to be an asshole today." That was to the attendant. "And then he threw me off the flight, and I said I would not be flying with them anymore." But then she flew with them again.
Listen.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, it's horrible, but you really got to kiss ass when you're on a flight. Like I've never been thrown off one, not that I would be, but that has got to suck. That has got to suck when you're like on the flight and you're like, the next flight leaves in like 13 hours and no one wants to help you at the gate.
I will say this. Southwest says it was because Southwest is fighting back, says that it's a entirely different story. She arrived late to the gate in the boarding process, reportedly insulted our employee after being asked to gate check her bag. A rep for the airline told People as a result, the customer was denied boarding on her flight because she was so damn rude. And we booked her on a later flight the same day.
Hey, I just got something else.
What?
We didn't talk about Coach Shah refusal to film RHOSLC. What do we know about
Why do you think
this?
that is?
You
know what? You tell me. I actually didn't read up on this story. I just saw the headline.
I think it's that, nothing you say can and will be used in your favor. This is devious Bravo. And I mean, what type of editing could be possible? I mean, rumors are that producers have repeatedly asked him. They failed to get him to sign on. I think that would be epic with no housewife, just having the husband there. Sources with direct knowledge say that they wanted to have him join the husbands and give an update on how Jen is doing in prison. I mean, but think about it. Think about how that editing would be. I mean, he has no control over it. Granted, you need the money, right? You still have restitution to pay. So shouldn't they, I mean, like, I don't want to be edited a certain way, but for money, I would do it, right? After talking through the situation with his wife, they basically decided not to do it. Her sentence is reduced by 1 year. Who knows if this could affect her sentence in jail? I don't know. In prison. So, Jen was infamously, at the time, Bravo's unwillingness to remove contractual rights so that she didn't show up to speak. Look, I think it's a smart decision, to be honest with you. I mean, granted,
totally. Look,
you could have used the money.
Quietly got a year knocked off of that sentence. I mean, she wasn't in there 4 hours and she got a whole fucking year gone.
That's the story. That's the story. You got to find someone at the prison, girl. Find someone at that prison and bring them behind the rope in the Sarah Fraser show.
We will, because that's so disgusting to me. Again, while our girl Penny Puckett, who is one of many scammed by this crook, Jen Shah, hasn't received one blessed penny. Now, the argument always by an attorney, you know this, you are an attorney, is always, how can my client make money if they're behind bars? They could be making this $9 million restitution if they could be out of jail. Fair argument. However, but she's now in for what? Instead of 6 years, 5 years. And more time as time goes on is coming off that sentence. So I see her out now in 4, 3.5. Wouldn't shock me.
You know what people say to you, Sarah?
What?
Why do you dislike Jen, but yet you love Erika? That's what they say to you. They say it to me too. So there you go. Just
easy.
Put that on
because there's no proof as of yet that Erika Jayne was part of the defrauding of Erika Keese or of Girardi Keese. She was a beneficiary. She was definitely the beneficiary. An account was opened and money, $25 million was transferred to her. But you have to prove, did she know that money? Did she just think Tom is making bank as this fabulous, what is the attorney? What kind of attorney? Sort of litigation for
like personal injury? Yeah.
Personal injury.
Right?
You have to prove, did she know that money was being misallocated, or did she just think he was making that much money? So who the F cares? You have to prove that. Jen Shah, we know Stewart, her pal, all of them turned on her and said, oh no, she was the ringleader. She was the one that was reselling these leads. Yes, we knew what we were doing. There was never any website building business. Sorry, that's the difference. If you get me that proof, Erika Jayne,
she's so smug.
I agree. I think she's a complete narcissistic fuck.
I just don't, there's something about her, man. I can't help it. By the way, with Mary back in the mix, and I still don't think Mary's going to be full-time. I think she's just going to be a friend of. I mean, look, I'll watch RHOSLC. I guess I'm a little interested. Maybe they'll come back with a bang. Maybe they'll come back with a bang. Atlanta looks great and the OC doesn't. And let's see what happens. I'm willing to keep an open mind. Right now, something's got to happen, guys. Something's got to happen. That's all.
All right.
Anything else, girl? All right, you do that. I'm going to go. I got a lot going on here today. Love everyone. Follow me behind Velvet Rope. Next time, we'll have to talk about Turtle Time and Ramona Singer's entry into the podcast.
I want to listen to this podcast. Another housewife. Boy, they're all cashing in, aren't they? They all are taking the Bethany road. And it's interesting to me. Rewive seems like it's falling on the charts left and right. So I'm so curious if people are. I listened to 1 or 2 episodes and I told you this. I don't think Bethany is a bad interview, and I love her behind the scenes, but she just talks about herself incessantly. It's to the point, even like with the legendary Tori Spelling, all Bethany does is talk about Bethany. And it's like, you have one of the biggest like Hollywood royalty stars, and it's all about Bethany.
Never about you as an interview.
It's never about, and that's one of the greatest things I've learned about you is when you're interviewing someone, no one fucking cares about you. You can drop in little anecdotes about how they relate to the guest, but that's it. Bethany goes on and on.
1 or 2.
You have the great Tori Spelling there, and she goes on and on and on about, how she was poor and now she's so rich. And when she's rich, she does this and that. She was in Beverly Hills and she worked at this. Again, you have Tori, and Tori's like, oh, wow, that's great. Meanwhile, Tori could have owned, or Tori's father owned Hollywood, but we have to listen to Bethany about when I, worked at Spago and I